Hello everyone, Brian Friel here with HypoReal&Facts, and I have gotten a lot of requests and demands to bring back Friday Fun Facts. So, I am bringing it back. And in this episode, we are going to talk about each day that happened in January throughout all the years. Well, maybe not throughout all the years, that'd take too long, but through many years, each day that happened in January. So, without wasting your Friday any longer, let's get to it. January 1st, 1502, Portuguese explorers landed at Guanabara Bay on the coast of South America and named it Rio de Janeiro, River of January. Rio de Janeiro is currently Brazil's second largest city. January 2nd, 1929, Canada and the United States agree on a plan to preserve the Niagara Falls. January 3rd, 1496, Leonardo da Vinci unsuccessfully tests a flying machine. I guess that is one thing they left out of the Da Vinci Code. January 4th, 1896, Utah is admitted as the 45th state of the United States. January 5th, 1920, the Boston Red Sox sell Babe Ruth to the New York Yankees in what is later known as the Bambino Curse.
The Great Bambino!
January 6, 1838, Samuel Morse first successfully tested the electrical telegraph. I always think it's important to study and learn about old technology. You never know when you'll need it. And like they say, they don't make them like they used to. January 7th, 1610, Galileo first observes the 4 largest moons of Jupiter. January 8th, 1681, Treaty of Ratson signed ending the 5 years of war between the Turks and Russia. And I wanted to throw another historic event that happened on this day, but it was 109 years later. 1790, George Washington delivers the first State of the Union address in New York City. January 9th, 1793, the very first ever balloon flight took place.
It will never fly. Well, I stand corrected. Mankind floats upon a limitless plane of air.
January 10th, 1861, the Civil War begins. Florida secedes from the nation. January 11th, 1693, Mount Etna erupts and there is an earthquake in Sicily, Italy. January 12th, 1875, Kwang Su becomes Emperor of China. Interesting, on January 12th, Kwang Su becomes Emperor of China. And then on January 12th, 1966, Batman the TV series starts. I guess the day an emperor takes place, that's the same day the people need to see a hero on television. January 13th, Odo becomes king of the Franks in the year 888.
Wait, it's me, Odo. You don't say.
1559, Queen Elizabeth I is crowned Queen of England. Let's just hope these days didn't fall on Friday the 13th. January 14th, 1690, the clarinet is invented. January 15th, 1891, basketball is invented by James Naismith. January 16th, there is a lot that happened on this day. You ready? 1547, Ivan the Terrible becomes Tsar of Russia. 1556, Philip II becomes King of Spain. 1909, the magnetic South Pole is found. 1995, the first episode of Star Trek Voyager airs.
Damage report. Shield at 60%.
January 17th, 1773, Captain James Cook becomes the first explorer to cross the Antarctic Circle. I'm sure that took a long time in the freezing cold and people getting frostbite, probably losing fingers and everything. January 18th, 1896, the first X-ray machine is demonstrated. January 19th, 1937, Howard Hughes sets a new cross-country air record. January 20th, 1885, the roller coaster is invented by Allie Thompson. 1981, Iran releases 52 American hostages. 1986, Martin Luther King Jr. Day was celebrated as a federal holiday for the first time. January 21st, 1954, the first nuclear-powered submarine is launched. January 22nd, 1957, Israel withdraws from the Sinai Peninsula. January 23rd, 1571, the Royal Exchange opens in London. 1943, Australian and American forces finally defeat Japanese army in Pompeii. 1907, Charles Curtis from Kansas becomes the first Native American U.S. Senator. 1973, President Nixon announces that peace accord has been reached in Vietnam.
I have asked for this radio and television time tonight for the purpose of announcing that we today have concluded an agreement to end the war and bring peace with honor in Vietnam.
1997, Madeleine Albright becomes the first female U.S. Secretary of State. January 24th, 1679, King Charles II of England disbands Parliament. 1848, California Gold Rush starts. 1922, the Eskimo pie is invented. January 25th, year 41, Claudius is proclaimed Roman Emperor. 1327, Edward III becomes King of England. 1533, Henry VIII of England secretly marries his second wife, Anne Boleyn. 1755, Moscow University is established. 1881, Thomas Edison and Alexander Graham Bell form the Oriental Telephone Company. 1890, Nellie Bly completes her round-the-world journey in 72 days. 1961, John F. Kennedy delivers the first live presidential television news conference.
Yes. Sir, would you please tell us how it was possible for you to do by executive order what Mr. Benson always told us was impossible for him to do without more legislation? I refer to the order expanding the distribution of food to the unemployed and giving them more variety in the diet.
Well, I would not attempt to comment on Mr. Benson. I don't think there's any question of our rights to issue the executive order under the authority given to us by the Constitution and by legislative action.
January 26, 1340, King Edward III of England is declared King of France. 1785, Benjamin Franklin writes a letter to his daughter. 1837, Michigan is admitted as the 26th U.S. state. 1841, the United Kingdom formally occupies Hong Kong. 1934, the Apollo Theater opens in Harlem, New York City. January 27, 1880, Thomas Edison files a patent for the light bulb. 1888, National Geographic Society is founded. January 28, 1855, the first locomotive runs from the Atlantic to the Pacific. 1915, the United States Coast Guard is created. January 29, 1595, Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet is first performed. 1845, The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe is published. 1886, Carl Benz patents the gasoline-driven automobile. 1929, the C&I Dog organization is formed. 1936, the first inductees into the Baseball Hall of Fame are announced. 1959, the movie Sleeping Beauty is released.
Well, quite a glittering assemblage, King Stephen. Royalty, nobility, the gentry, and... how quaint.
January 30th, 1933, Adolf Hitler is sworn in as Chancellor of Germany. 1847, Yerba Buena, California is renamed San Francisco. 1948, civil rights leader Mahatma Gandhi is assassinated. And last but certainly not least, January 31st. 1865, General Robert E. Lee becomes General-in-Chief over the Confederate Army. 1958, Explorer 1 becomes the first successful American satellite. 1961, Ham the Chimp travels into outer space. 1990, the first McDonald's opens in Moscow, Russia. Watch! The apocalypse would be happening, but I bet you still would be able to find a Walmart or a McDonald's on the corner of every street. The whole world would be going crazy, but yet you could still find those two. That and a hot dog stand. Well, that's it for this episode of Friday Fun Fact. I will see you again at the end of February, where we will discuss each event that happened on each day of February. Thank you, and I will see you again.